My name is Madison Blake, and I'm 31 years old. 3 weeks ago, I thought I was slowly, carefully building a future with my boyfriend. Now I realize I was just the warm up act for his next relationship with my best friend. If you'd seen us from the outside back then, you'd probably have believed the story I was telling myself. Jason and I looked like the kind of couple that's on the verge of the next step. We'd been together 2 years. We talked about maybe moving in together after his brewery launched, about maybe getting engaged once things settle down financially. That was always the phrase with Jason. Once things settle down financially. I'm a high school English teacher. I make enough to pay my bills, keep my modest little apartment, and splurge on good coffee and books I probably don't need. I never pretended to be rich or ambitious. Jason liked to joke that I was his stable base. He was the dreamer, the entrepreneur, the man with a vision. He's 30 now. When we met, he was still working at a logistics company, saving up and obsessively planning this craft brewery he wanted to open. The Coles, his parents, are old school, spreadsheet-loving people. His dad, a retired accountant, tracks every penny. His mom saves receipts for gum. They weren't thrilled when Jason said he wanted to quit his stable job and chase the brewery dream, but he pitched them a business plan, charts, market research, and somehow he convinced them. They invested $50,000 of their retirement money into their son's dream. Jason framed it as partnering with them. But let's be honest, retired parents don't invest that much in their kid's business unless they believe he's responsible, honest, and careful. On paper, he was all three. In reality, he was $30,000 in debt, and I was the only one who knew. Almost a year ago, Jason showed up at my apartment looking like he hadn't slept in a week. He sat on my couch, stared at the floor, and said, "Mads, I did something stupid." That's how I found out about the sports betting, the online poker, the late-night casino trips with the guys. He tried to fix everything with more bets, convinced he'd win it back. Shockingly, that didn't happen. What did happen was credit cards maxed out, sketchy personal loans, and a number so big on a spreadsheet that he couldn't bring himself to say it out loud. $30,000. He cried. I cried. We made a payment plan and found a debt consolidation program. I told him to tell his parents. He told me it would kill them. He begged me not to say anything. So I didn't. I helped him hide it. I told myself that's what love looks like, holding someone's secrets until they're strong enough to set them down. Then his parents invested that $50,000 into the brewery. Just to get it off the ground, he said. Licensing, equipment, lease deposit, marketing. It's going to pay off, you'll see. What he didn't say out loud, but admitted to me in late-night whispered confessions, was that some of that money had quietly detoured into paying off people he owed. Not all of it, but enough that every time we walked past the brewery location, a gutted brick building with a big "Coming Soon" banner, my stomach twisted. They thought they were funding stainless steel tanks and hops. In reality, they were patching holes in a sinking ship he'd punched himself. So that's the background. Now fast forward to 3 weeks ago. Jason and I had what I now call the soft breakup. He came over to my apartment, sat at my kitchen table, and told me he wasn't ready for the level of commitment I wanted. We've talked about moving in, about, maybe engagements and rings and stuff, he said, eyes somewhere over my shoulder. I'm not there yet. I need to focus on the business. I need to focus on getting my life together. It's not fair to you. It hurt. Of course it hurt. But it sounded honest enough. I told myself this was the responsible choice. Two mature people realizing the timing was wrong. We agreed to end things amicably. No screaming, no cheating, no catastrophic fight. Just done. I cried for a week. Then I did what you do. Went to work, graded essays about symbolism and theme, drank wine with my best friend, and pretended my heart wasn't in pieces. My best friend is Lillian Grant, but everyone calls her Lily. We've been glued together since college. She was there when my dad died, when my almost wedding collapsed years ago, when I had to move into a tiny apartment and start over. Lily is the person who shows up with takeout and bad reality TV when you text, "I can't do today." She also knows Jason. We used to do double dates, game nights, weekend hikes. Jason liked her. I liked that they got along. It made my world feel braided together in a safe way. 2 weeks after the breakup, Lily texted me, "Can we grab coffee? I really need to talk to you." The message had too many nervous dots, the kind that linger when someone types, deletes, and types again. We meet at this little cafe we've been going to for years. The barista knows our orders. I walk in and see Lily at the corner table, fingers wrapped around a mug she's barely touched. Her knee is bouncing under the table. Her eyes keep darting to the door like she's about to bolt. For a second, I think maybe she's pregnant, or sick, or moving, or... Hey, I say, sliding into the chair across from her. You look like you're about to confess to murder. She lets out a strained laugh that dies almost immediately. Mads, Okay, just let me say this all the way through before you react, please. There it is. The sentence no one says before good news. My stomach drops in that slow, delayed way, like an elevator that stutters between floors. Okay, I say carefully. I'm listening. She takes a deep breath, eyes shining, gaze fixed on a cracked spot in the table. I've been spending time with Jason, she blurts. After the breakup. At first it was just to check on him, but then we started talking and we connected in this way I didn't expect. It wasn't planned, I swear. But we have feelings now, and we want to try dating. We wanted you to hear it from us first because we respect you and we don't want to hurt you. There's this ringing in my ears, like someone turned the volume up on the whole world and then cut my personal audio out completely. I watch her mouth form the word feelings. I watch her say dating. I hear we respect you, and somewhere deep inside, something cold laughs. How long? I ask. My voice sounds calmer than I feel. She blinks. What? How long have you two been spending time together like that? She swallows. A week after you guys ended things. He was really upset, and it just happened. 1 week. I count the days in my head. While I was still waking up and forgetting for half a second that I was single, they were connecting. Lily reaches across the table, but I keep my hands in my lap. I know it looks bad, she rushes on, but we didn't cheat on you. You and Jason were over. I would never do that to you, Mads. We just fell for each other faster than we expected. We wanted to be honest and hope that maybe you'd be happy for us, eventually. There it is, the audacity. The request wrapped in soft concern. Please give us your blessing. Please make this easier for us. On the surface, I nod slowly. Inside, something sharp and exhausted stands up and stretches. Because here's the part Lily doesn't know. She's in love with Jason Cole, the ambitious entrepreneur with a promising brewery and devoted parents who believe in him. I'm the only one who's ever met the other Jason, the one who owes 30 grand to credit card companies and loan sharks, who used his parents' retirement money to plug gambling holes, who cries in my lap about how he's going to fix it while clicking on another betting app. Lily is falling for a ghost, a version of him that only exists because I've been hauling his secrets around like sandbags. I realize, sitting there in that cafe with my best friend begging me to be happy for her, that I don't want to carry them anymore. I take a breath, feel my face arrange itself into something soft and generous, the way women are trained to do when their world is cracking. If you two are happy, I say, then I'm happy for you. Lily's eyes fill with tears of relief. She squeezes my hand like I just donated a kidney. I love you, she says. You're the best. I was so scared you'd hate me. I smile. I don't say, not yet. Because I've learned something from dating a gambler. You never show all your cards at once. Later that night, alone in my apartment, I scroll past their first careful selfie together. Not quite romantic yet, but charged. The caption is something vague about new chapters. I stare at Jason's face, at Lily leaning into his shoulder, at all the people commenting heart emojis. And I think, if they really want a new chapter together, they're about to find out what happens when you build it on a foundation of lies. The funny thing about social media is how fast people perform happiness. 3 days after that coffee with Lily, they go official. I'm sitting on my couch in sweatpants, grading essays about The Great Gatsby, when my phone buzzes. A notification. Lily and Grant posted a new photo. I open it without thinking. There they are. Jason has his arm around her shoulders, chin tilted toward her like she's the only person in the room. Lily is laughing up at him, hair falling over her face. It's a cute picture. Of course it is. She's always been photogenic. He's always known how to angle his jaw. The caption reads, New Beginnings. The comments flood in quickly. OMG, you two. Didn't see this coming, but I'm here for it. Power couple. I watch the little red hearts explode across my screen. It's surreal, like looking through a window into a party I didn't know I'd been uninvited from. Mutual friends start texting. Are you okay? Did you know about this? Wow, that was fast. I type the same response to all of them. Yeah, I knew. I'm happy for them. No hard feelings. Some people send back heart emojis and you're so mature, Mads. Others send a single, suspicious Really? I don't clarify. On Instagram, I don't comment. I don't like the photo. I just let it sit there, a glossy little announcement that my ex-boyfriend and my best friend are now a narrative people can root for. My phone buzzes again, a text from Lily. Thank you for being so understanding about this. It means a lot that we can all be adults. I promise we're going to handle this carefully. I love you. I stare at the message. My thumbs hover over the keyboard. I type, of course, you two deserve happiness. Then I delete the period at the end because it feels too final and send it. On the outside, I'm calm, supportive, the bigger person. On the inside, something has clicked into place. Jason's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Cole, are exactly the kind of people who would see that photo and think, good for him. They like Lily. Everyone likes Lily. She's charming and funny and easy to talk to. If they knew their future daughter-in-law had slid neatly from Madison's best friend into Jason's girlfriend, they'd probably just decide love works in mysterious ways. They have no idea that the son they're so proud to bankroll is secretly $30,000 in the hole to gambling and using their retirement money as duct tape. That night, I sit at my tiny kitchen table with my laptop open, a blank document staring back at me, and my heart pounding hard enough to make my vision fuzz. I don't want to ruin Jason's life. I tell myself that over and over. But I keep coming back to the same image. His dad, hunched over spreadsheets at the kitchen table, carefully stretching their savings. His mom, talking about maybe taking a trip once the business is stable. They're gambling everything on his honesty. Jason knows that, and still, he lied. Loyalty is a weird thing. It asks you to swallow your discomfort, keep secrets, protect people from their own worst impulses. For a long time, I told myself that's what love and friendship were supposed to look like. Now I imagine Lily sitting across from Jason, listening to him talk about profit projections and expansion plans, thinking she's hitching her wagon to a rising star. She has no idea the star is actually a smoldering crater he's been keeping under a tarp. You can't keep protecting someone who's willing to burn other people's lives to fuel their fantasy. The next afternoon, I scroll through my contacts and stop at Mr. Cole. I haven't called him in months. We used to talk more, back when I was the serious girlfriend. He liked that I had a steady job and didn't ask them for anything. The last time we spoke, he was excited about the brewery, about building something with Jason. My finger hovers over his name. My heart is hammering. This is the moment where, in movies, the main character hangs up and decides to mind her own business. I press call. He answers on the third ring. Hello? Hi, Mr. Cole, it's Madison. A pause, then his voice brightens. Oh, Madison, hi. How are you, dear? I almost say fine and make up some excuse. Instead, I take a breath. I'm okay. Do you have a few minutes? There's something I'd like to talk to you about. In person, if possible. It's about the brewery. There's a shift in his tone. Subtle, but there. Is everything all right? I think it would be better to explain over coffee. He hesitates, then agrees. We set a time for Saturday morning at a cafe near his house. When I hang up, my hands are shaking. Saturday arrives too quickly. The cafe smells like espresso and toasted bagels. Sunlight streams through the big front windows, dust motes floating in the air like tiny planets. I get there early because I'm nervous and overcompensating. Mr. Cole walks in wearing a blue button-down and the same careful expression he always has when he's in business mode. He spots me, smiles, and waves. Madison, he says, giving me a quick fatherly hug. It's good to see you. How have you been? Good, I lie. Busy with school. You? Oh, busy as well. Retirement is a myth, I've decided. He chuckles and sits. So, the brewery. Are you thinking of investing? His eyes light up. Jason would be thrilled. He could use someone sensible on his side. The words hit me like a slap. Sensible. On his side. I swallow. I'm not here to invest, I say gently. I'm here because I think there are some things you should know about everything. And I want to preface this by saying I'm not doing this to hurt Jason, but I can't carry this anymore, especially now that there's more at stake. His smile fades. All right, you've got my attention. I pull my phone out of my bag. My hands are steady now. It feels almost like teaching, delivering difficult information with as much clarity as possible. About a year ago, I begin, Jason developed a gambling problem. I watch his face. Sports betting, online poker, some casino trips, I continue. It got out of hand. He ended up about $30,000 in debt. He told me everything, showed me the statements, the loans. I helped him find a debt consolidation plan. I begged him to tell you and Mrs. Cole, but he didn't want to. He said it would break your hearts. Mr. Cole stares at me. color draining from his face. I don't understand. 30,000? I nod. I open a folder on my phone. Screenshots Jason sent me when he was drowning and needed help. Texts, emails, a PDF from a debt consolidation company. I slide the phone toward him. He scrolls in silence, lips tightening. Why? Why are you telling me this now? He asks quietly. Because when you invested in the brewery, I say, my voice shaking just a little, he did use money for business expenses, yes, but he also used some of it to pay off debts. I don't know the exact amount, but he told me he had to juggle things to keep everyone off his back. He's been using your retirement money to plug holes from his gambling. Mr. Cole's jaw clenches. For a moment, I think he might actually be sick. And you knew. It isn't accusatory exactly, just stunned. I did, I say. The admission tastes bitter. I knew before you invested. I thought he'd tell you. I kept thinking, any day now, he'll come clean. But he didn't. And I kept his secret because I loved him and I thought I was helping. But now he's dating my best friend, and she has no idea what she's walking into. And you and Mrs. Cole are putting more and more of your future into this. And I can't hold it anymore. You deserve to know where your money is going. She deserves to know who she's with. And honestly, I deserve to stop being the only one carrying this. He sets the phone down carefully, like it might explode. Why not tell us sooner? He asks, voice raw. Because I was trying to protect him, I say simply. From you. From himself. From reality. I thought love meant keeping his confidence, even when I disagreed. But then he broke up with me, and a week later he was dating Lily and asking me to be happy for them while he continued lying to all of you. I realized I was protecting someone who had no problem putting me in an impossible position. He leans back, staring at the far wall. His eyes are shiny, but he doesn't cry. Thank you, he says finally, hoarsely. I'm angry. I'm hurt. But I'm grateful you told me. I wish you had sooner, but I understand why you didn't. We sit in silence for a moment. The clinking of cups and low murmur of conversations around us feels strangely loud. What will you do? I ask quietly. I don't know yet, he says. Talk to his mother. Look at the accounts. Confirm everything. His mouth tightens. We trusted him completely. We put our retirement on the line for him. If what you've shown me is accurate, and I have no reason to think you'd fabricate this, then he's not just been irresponsible. He's been dishonest. With us. With you. With this new girl. Lily, I say softly, she was my best friend. His eyes flick to me, full of complicated sympathy. I'm sorry, Madison, for all of this. Me too, I say. When we leave, he thanks me again. He looks 10 years older than when he walked in. I walk home with my heart lodged somewhere between my ribs and my throat. My phone stays quiet the rest of the day. On Sunday morning, that changes. By 9 a.m., I have 6 missed calls from Jason and 3 from Lily. My notifications are a minefield. The first voicemail from Jason is a roar. What did you do, Madison? He shouts. My parents are pulling out of the business. They know everything. They're talking to lawyers to get their money back. You just destroyed my life. Over what? Because I'm dating Lily? I sit on the edge of my bed, listening. The words buzzing around my head like angry bees. Another voicemail. More rage, more blame, less coherence. Then a text. You betrayed me. Everything I told you was in confidence. I stare at it for a long time. Then another message pops up, this time from Lily. What did you say to his parents? Call me. Now. I exhale long and slow. The thing about lighting a fuse is this. You don't get to control how fast the explosion reaches the dynamite, but you do control whether you strike the match. I pick up my phone and finally start typing. I text Lily first, because it's easier to start with the person who still believes she's the victim in a story she doesn't understand. I told his parents the truth about the gambling debt. They deserve to know where their investment was going. It takes her less than 30 seconds to call me. I almost don't answer, but curiosity wins. Madison, she snaps the moment I pick up. Her voice is shaking with fury. What is wrong with you? Do you have any idea what you've done? Jason is devastated. I close my eyes. It's strange, hearing her defend him with the same breathless loyalty I once used. I told them the truth, I say quietly. That's all. You did it because you're jealous, she fires back. Because you can't stand the idea of us being happy together. Lily, I say, more tired than angry. You're dating someone who owes $30,000 and was lying to you about every part of his life. You deserve to know that. You're pathetic, she spits. You just want to punish him because he moved on. And you want to punish me because he chose me. It wasn't about choosing you, I say. It was about the truth. She hangs up. The silence afterward is somehow louder. Around noon, Jason finally texts again. You had no right. I respond with the same calm I now wear like armor. I told them the truth. Something you should have done a year ago. A few seconds pass. Then, you betrayed me after everything I told you. I type. You started dating my best friend 1 week after we broke up and expected me to clap for you. Don't talk to me about betrayal. He doesn't reply. Not that day, anyway. The following week is the slow motion collapse, and I watch it unfold like someone flipping through channels of a disaster movie. Jason and Lily's Instagram photo disappears. No explanation. No caption about taking time for ourselves. Just gone. Mutual friends start texting. Did they break up? Jason's been acting weird. I heard his parents pulled funding. I don't say much. Just a vague. They're working through some things. Meanwhile, I hear rumors through the grapevine. Lily crying in her sister's apartment. Jason sleeping on a friend's couch, his parents refusing to answer his calls. I don't take pleasure in it, not exactly. It's more like watching a storm you tried to warn someone about. You're not glad the house collapsed. You just wish they'd listened before it happened. By Thursday, I'm back into my routine. Teaching, grading, pretending to be normal. So when there's a sudden, loud knock on my apartment door at 8:14 p.m., I'm not expecting anything. I open it. Jason stands there. He looks awful. Hair unwashed, clothes wrinkled, eyes red and wild. His shoulders sag like he's been carrying something heavy for too long. We need to talk, he says. There's no anger this time, just desperation. I step aside. Come in. He walks past me, pacing my living room like an animal trying to escape a cage. My parents are suing me, he blurts. Suing their own son. Did you know that? They hired a lawyer. I'm sorry that's happening, I say. Sorry? He whirls around, eyes blazing. Not with rage this time, but something hollow. You're sorry? You did this. You set all of this in motion. No, I say softly. Your gambling problem and your lies set this in motion. I just stopped hiding it. He runs a hand through his hair. The brewery is dead. Gone. I already spent most of the money. Some of it was debts, but a lot went into actual startup stuff. Deposits, licenses, equipment. I can't pay any of it back. I might have to declare bankruptcy. I nod once. I know this is hard. Hard? He lets out a sharp, humorless laugh. Hard is losing everything. Hard is realizing you can't pay back the people who trusted you the most. And dating my best friend a week after ending things with me wasn't hard for you? I ask quietly. He freezes. There's a long, heavy silence. Then he slumps into the chair across from me. She broke up with me, he mutters. Yesterday. I don't say anything. He stares into the distance. She said she didn't sign up for someone drowning in debt, with no job, whose parents hate him. Said I wasn't who she thought I was. That's because you weren't, I say. She fell for the version of you that you curated for her. The entrepreneur with momentum, not the man behind the curtain. His jaw tightens. You could have helped me, he whispers. You could have talked to my parents with me. You could have been on my side. I was on your side, I say, voice soft but sharp. For a year. I carried your secret. I helped you make plans. I covered for you. I believed you'd do the right thing eventually. But then you moved on from me before the dust even settled, and you expected me to keep carrying everything while you lied to everyone else. I didn't betray our friendship, he says weakly. You betrayed it the moment you started dating Lily a week after we ended, I say. And again, when you expected me to smile about it. His face crumples, but not into tears, into something worse, understanding. I came here hoping you'd feel guilty, he admits, that you'd help me fix this, but you don't care. I cared, I say gently, when you were my partner, when we were a team, when you were honest with me. I stopped caring when you made your choices and left me holding the fallout. He stands slowly. We're done. Yeah, I say, we are. He walks to the door, pauses with his hand on the knob. For a moment, I think he might say something, an apology, or anger, or anything that sounds like closure. Instead, he leaves without a word. I sit on the couch afterward, waiting to feel something. Anger, guilt, satisfaction. All I feel is quiet. A strange, peaceful quiet. The next morning, I wake up to a long Facebook message from Lily. It starts with, I know you think you won. It ends with, you're going to end up alone because you can't let people be happy. I read it once, then delete it. No response. No need. That night, my phone buzzes with an unfamiliar number. It's Noah, Jason's younger brother. We were never close, but always friendly. Madison, he says awkwardly. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for telling my parents. I blink. What? I knew about Jason's gambling, he admits. Not all of it. but enough. I caught him betting online months ago. He swore me to secrecy. I've been sick about it, knowing my parents were investing without knowing the truth. My throat tightens. They were going to put more money into the brewery next month, Noah says. Like, a lot more. You probably saved their retirement. For the first time in weeks, something warm unfurls in my chest. We talk for a few minutes. He tells me Jason is staying with a friend, going to Gamblers Anonymous meetings, and that their parents are devastated, but also relieved the truth came out. After we hang up, I sit on my couch, phone in hand, staring at nothing. For the first time, I feel something that isn't exhaustion or anger or numbness. I feel justified. Not for the revenge, but for the honesty, for choosing truth over silence. For once. A few days later, I run into Lily at the grocery store. She spots me near the produce aisle. Her face flushes red. She turns abruptly and walks away like I'm a ghost she's afraid might follow her. I keep shopping. I don't chase, I don't explain, I don't apologize. Some chapters don't end with a conversation. Some just close. Quietly. For a few days, everything goes eerily quiet. No more late-night calls from Jason. No more rage-filled paragraphs from Lily. No more mutual friends trying to check in while also fishing for updates. Just silence. You would think the calm would feel peaceful. Instead, it feels like the air right before a thunderstorm. Still, heavy, waiting. Then Friday hits, and the storm arrives. Not in the form of Jason, not in the form of Lily, but in the form of stories. Mutual friends start messaging me throughout the day. Hey, Jason's been saying you sabotaged his whole life because you're jealous. Lily is telling people you exposed Jason just to hurt her. Everyone's talking about the lawsuit. Did you really go behind his back? Rumors spread faster than truth ever does. I don't defend myself in group chats or comment on posts the way they probably expect me to. I just text the people who matter, my inner circle. Jason was hiding a gambling problem. His parents invested their retirement into his business. I told them because they deserve to know the truth. That's all. Most reply with support. A few say, I get why you did it, but I probably wouldn't have. One friend says, they're both idiots. You did them a favor. But one message hits differently. My phone buzzes with the notification from the school's email system. Subject line, congratulations, Madison. I blink confused and open it. Inside, a formal letter informing me I was selected to lead a new language arts mentorship program, something I applied for months ago and assumed I didn't get. It comes with a small raise, reduced evening duties, and professional development funding. For the first time in weeks, a real smile creeps onto my face. A reminder, my life doesn't revolve around these people. It never had to. That evening, I meet up with a few close friends at a small wine bar downtown. The kind with string lights, tiny wooden tables, and servers who recommend things with notes of blackberry and slate. It's the first time I've been out socially since everything imploded. We order drinks and someone finally says it. Okay, Madison, we need to hear your side. I take a long sip of wine before speaking. I'm not here to trash them, I say. But here's the short version. Jason had a gambling problem. His parents invested a lot of money without knowing the truth. I told them. And if I hadn't, they would have invested more. The group goes quiet. One of my friends, Priya, frowns. That must have been so heavy to carry alone. It was, and hearing someone acknowledge that makes something inside me loosen. Another friend, Sarah, leans forward. And Lily? Did she know anything? I shake my head. She fell for the version of him he curated. The polished entrepreneur, not the man behind the facade. Then she didn't really fall for him, Sarah says. She fell for a sales pitch. Someone lets out a low whistle. Honestly, Priya adds, you did them all a favor. It hurts now, but eventually, they'll realize you were the only adult in the room. Another friend shrugs. Look, it's messy, but secrets like that always explode. You just pulled the pin earlier. I don't know if that's supposed to make me feel better, but it does. Just a little. A few days later, on Sunday afternoon, I stop by the grocery store again. It feels like a normal errand. Vegetables, cereal, a bottle of wine for later. I'm halfway down the pasta aisle when I hear hurried footsteps behind me. The kind that aren't casual. The kind that feel pointed. I turn. Lily. Her hair is in a messy bun. She's wearing sunglasses indoors, an attempt at invisibility that fails immediately when she spots me. Her eyes widen. Her cheeks flush bright red. Without a word, she does a sharp pivot and bolts down the next aisle like I'm a fire she's trying to outrun. I slowly pick up a box of penne, set it in my cart, and move on. There's no satisfaction, no vengeful spark. Just neutrality. The kind that comes from finally seeing someone clearly. For the first time, it hits me. I don't owe her anger. I don't owe her forgiveness. I don't owe her anything. We aren't best friends anymore. We aren't even acquaintances. We're just two people who used to know each other, living separate lives that were once tangled together, too tightly, too messily, too painfully. And now, they're unraveling, exactly as they needed to. By Monday morning, something shifts. I wake up, make coffee, and the world feels different. Not lighter exactly, but more honest. When I check the mailbox on my way out, there's a white envelope addressed to me. The handwriting is unfamiliar. Inside is a card, a simple floral front. Inside, a handwritten message. Thank you for telling us the truth. We wish we had known sooner. We're hurt, but we're grateful. You made an impossible choice with compassion. Mrs. Cole. I read it twice, then a third time, and then I put the card on my fridge. Not as a trophy, but as a reminder. Doing the right thing isn't always pretty, but it is still the right thing. That night, lying in bed, I think about everything that's happened. The breakup, the betrayal, the truth-telling, the fallouts. And for the first time, I don't think of Jason or Lily. I think of myself, of the girl who used to say yes to everything, who used to absorb everyone's chaos quietly, who used to confuse loyalty with silence. I think of the woman I'm becoming, someone who draws lines, someone who protects her own peace, someone who refuses to carry secrets that aren't hers. The storm isn't over, but for the first time, I feel like I'm standing in a place where the rain can't reach me. 3 weeks pass. 3 quiet, steady, strangely liberating weeks. The dust settles the way dust always does, slowly, messily, but inevitably. And the landscape of my life looks completely different. Not empty, just cleared. I didn't realize how much space other people's chaos was taking up until it was gone. And now that it is, the air feels easier to breathe. Where Lily ended up. Word spreads fast in our friend group, even though I've stopped asking for updates. Lily moved to the east side, cheaper apartments, farther from anyone who might recognize her at Target. She blocked me everywhere. Instagram, phone, even LinkedIn, for reasons I genuinely can't explain. According to a mutual friend, the kind who doesn't want to get involved but always is, Lily has been telling people, Madison is vindictive. Madison is unstable. I dodged a bullet. I let people say what they need to say. Truth doesn't need an audience to remain true. Apparently, she's back on dating apps, filtering aggressively for things like financially stable only, career-oriented, no entrepreneurs unless fully funded. The irony doesn't escape me, but it's not my business anymore. She's just a familiar stranger now. Where Jason ended up. Jason's fall was not a crash. It was a slow collapse, the kind where beams groan for months before the roof finally caves in. His business gone. All the equipment from his brewery, every stainless steel tank, every branded glassware set, every piece of furniture was sold to another startup for cents on the dollar. His former business partner, a man named Mark, who I'd met only twice, filed a lawsuit for fraud after discovering the misappropriated funds. Jason now works as a project manager for a construction company. Not glamorous, not entrepreneurial, but steady. His brother Noah told me he's attending Gamblers Anonymous twice a week. Showing up, participating, actually trying. His parents are speaking to him, cautiously. Their relationship is strained, but not severed. They want him to repay every dollar, not to punish him, but to help him rebuild integrity brick by brick. It will take years, maybe decades, but he's walking the path he should have been walking long before any of this happened. His apology. 2 weeks ago, I got a text from him. A long one. I know we're not friends anymore. I'm sorry you were put in that position. I'm sorry for dating Lily so soon. I'm sorry for using you to hide my problems. You were right to tell my parents. I wish I'd listened to you when it mattered. I read it 3 times. Then I put my phone down, and I didn't respond. Not out of spite, but because some apologies aren't for the person receiving them, they're for the person sending them, so they can feel lighter. He still has a long road ahead of him, and I'm not a stop along the way anymore. A note from his mother. A few days after his message, I got mail from Mrs. Cole. A thank you card. A real one. With flowers. In her precise, looping handwriting. You told us the truth when no one else would. We're hurt, but grateful. We've recovered $32,000 through liquidation and repayment plans. Not everything, but more than we ever expected. Thank you for doing what was right, even when it was impossible. That card is still on my fridge. Not because I need validation, but because it reminds me of something I'd forgotten. Doing the right thing is rarely painless, but it is always necessary. Where I ended up. Therapy is helping. Not in a dramatic movie montage way, but in the subtle sense. the slow unwinding of old habits, the steady rebuilding of boundaries I never used to enforce. My life is quieter, better, healthier. I was chosen to lead a new mentorship program at school. The raise isn't huge, but the recognition is. The hours are better. My students are thriving. I feel like myself in a way I haven't in years. I've reconnected with old friends, people I drifted from because I was too busy fixing Jason's crises or absorbing Lily's emotions. It feels good to talk to people who knew me before all this, people who remind me who I used to be, who I still am. Do I regret any of it? People still ask me, sometimes, do you regret telling his parents? Do you regret losing your friend? Would you do it differently? Here's my honest answer. No. Could I have handled it more gracefully? Sure. There's always a more graceful route. But the truth was a ticking bomb. Jason's business was built on secrets. His relationship with Lily was built on illusions. His future was built on his parents' retirement money. Everything was going to collapse eventually. All I did was move the timeline up. And this is the part people don't understand. I didn't destroy a friendship over a man. That friendship was already broken. Jason broke it when he started dating my best friend a week after our breakup and expected me to celebrate it while he handed me the weight of his lies. Lily broke it when she asked me to smile through betrayal and never once asked what I needed. I didn't end anything. I just stopped pretending. What I learned. Someone recently asked me what I took away from all this. I thought about it for a moment. Then I said, loyalty without boundaries is just self-destruction. Honesty will hurt people, but lies will ruin them. Sometimes the trash really does take itself out. You just have to stop holding the door open. They laughed. Said I should put that on a bumper sticker. Maybe I will. For now, though, I'm okay. Better than okay. I sleep well. I owe no one $30,000. I'm not hiding anyone's secrets. And I no longer mistake keeping quiet for being kind. For the first time in a long time, I'm free.